Welcome back to Stanley Parable, part 3, I think. This time, we're going to not answer the phone, unplug it, see what happens. So that's what we're going to do now. I don't know where it's going to lead us. So let's see where the game is taking us, shall we? So as you can see, we already have a different title screen. Because the game just switched up things. So that's where we're at. It looks different. So we're beginning the game and see what happens. Going straight to...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Shh. We're going straight to that point. I'm going to skip this part so you don't have to watch this again. The only thing that changed is basically those balloons that we had.
Were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes. So, we're going to get to the point, and I'll see you there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
There's another one. There's another collectible there.
Your trust in someone else can be difficult,
so off camera, I collected another one. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the video because it might be a little confusing.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I've never been there.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
But there is another one,
been neglecting, Stanley.
But I don't know how to get there. So we need to find a way to get
stop
there.
To make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me.
Anyway, I'm on my way to the cell phone now.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your
So this is where we are.
To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
All right.
You need to be the one to do.
So
this,
last time we answered the call.
If you
so this time.
Place your oh no! You can't. Did you just unplug the phone? Now that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course.
But that's actually not what's happening.
How
we know that.
Even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
It's fucking warm today.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, Is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack. Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
I have to wear a cap
Most
today
medical
because
professionals
my hair
recommend
is
making at least 8
a
choices
mess.
per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back.
Hey!
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Oh, we'll see about that, mate.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No!
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the
No!
other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Yeah, it's kind of glitchy. No! Where is he? I don't know. This is where we are.
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like
Views,
so much
hopefully.
garbage? Well, it's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see.
Kinda, yeah.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you?
Occasionally, yeah.
Child. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly.
So I don't know what
putting
this
the
part is,
story
if it's
first.
just weird.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That
Okay, I think I have to.
Responsibly
I don't exactly remember what I did last
I'm quite
time.
sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, I can't even go down now. I used to be able to go down here, so that's where I went, and that's where I found a second collectible. Oh yeah.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief
So the room is different.
who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage
I'm actually going to try it.
Unknown.
I've tried it last time as well.
He drew a sharp breath
Actually,
and
it's
then
just a
spoke
troll.
the code.
I don't even know. I don't even know what it was. Dark thing.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver,
Nightshark
right there on the wall.
Nightshark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver.
Okay, actually,
Otherwise,
I thought I
we
could just
can't get on
activate
with
my
the story.
microphone or
This
something.
is a crucial step.
I can't, mate. I can't.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a
Let me
story
in.
seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you...
Oh, yeah, that's the ending I saw.
Okay?
I don't know if it's actually the ending.
I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Kind of sad and cute,
Are you
the way he's
listening
like
to me?
disappointed.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
So they're pretty much
Whatever choice you make is just fine.
codependent.
They're both correct. You cannot be
He
wrong.
still
We
depends
work together. I'll accept
on,
whatever
relies
you do. I
on
simply
him.
need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide.
And he's
Time to
patient.
make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
It's a bit sad, so they're definitely codependent. So without Stanley making any choice at all, the narrator can progress with his thing, and that's what he likes to do. So, and Stanley technically needs the narrator to like continue and find his way either out or I don't know what Stanley's purpose is actually. They're definitely codependent, so that's what the narrator came to realize, that without Stanley, there's nothing to do for him as well. That's a pretty cool thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
So
could
yeah,
it mean?
that's what I did.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, the bucket! It's here!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I got the bucket! Woo! Let's go! I don't know what to do with it, but... Wait, there's another room there. You see that? Look, there's another room. There. I don't even know how many, like, roads, paths you can go. Honestly, don't want to miss any path. Let's try every door. That was the new content room that we went into.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
I'm gonna check every door now. Maybe this one of these doors is open.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Huh? Oh, I can actually close this door?
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. Cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Hold on. Actually... Yeah. Guys! Find a new way! Let's go! Woo!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Alright. So let's see where this is taking us now. Can actually go down here? There's an exit there. Or what eventually could be an exit. So let's see, can I jump down further from here? No. No, I'm gonna die. Nah. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh shit. Ooh. Holy fuck, where the fuck am I now? Oh! Where are we going now? That's new. Don't know this. No idea what's going on here. Is that?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
What?
Sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms.
What is going on?
Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes.
It's going a little...
Unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Camporata.
What the fuck is happening? Fucking alien shit or what? What? This game is so weird. It's like so. Jesus.
All of his co-workers
Christ.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
I'll
Stanley
take the
lifted
bucket
into
again.
his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Oh yes. It's comfortable. One of these doors must be open. Come on!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No, I will
This
right
was not
first.
the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on
Disappointment.
his left to go back to the meeting room.
I'm going to jump down here. I think I went there, but I don't know what happened.
Said the bucket.
Now ride
Well, let's
the
go
lift
there.
all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Alright. I don't really remember what was here, but... Let's see. Narrator...
No, stop.
okay.
Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Please,
Okay.
step in here for a moment.
That's new.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin.
Alright, let's see.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay. Got me there.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
As soon as I click no, he's gonna tell me it's a bucket. I swear.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
It's just messing with me again. Stop messing with me!
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
I love the way he's talking, like... This English, I think this English accent or whatever,
Is
I
this a
love it.
bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay. I don't know
Item
about
6.
that.
Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yeah, you are.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No! Bucket!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
I'm not
this
a
is
bucket.
wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
I don't know if you hear the heartbeat. That's my stream deck. Hold on, let's see. Why are the other buttons not working? Anyway. Alright, so what do we do now? Hold on.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and
Taking the bucket again.
all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I want to see if I can go down the staircase. The stairs are leading down, and if we can go there. Okay, that's the toilet. The boss toilet. The employee toilet. Nearby a fireplace. Somewhere both red and blue. Okay, so I know where this is. Probably. But it shouldn't be Smitty. Nearby a fireplace, that could be the office. But somewhere red and blue, I'm not sure about that. Plus the completionist. We'll see. Oh shit, what?
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hold on, let me see. Now I'm curious if it's actually there. But this door is gonna close. Yeah,
Okay,
there
I'm
it is.
going back to the
Okay.
name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Alright, and the next one. The only fireplace I have seen is here. But I don't know.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It's not there. Maybe it was down there, but nothing. Okay, so it's not there. Oh, there's another way. There's so many ways. Jesus. Oh!
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anlarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Red and blue.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Should be in there. Oh. Let's go this way. Let's see if we're getting crushed again.
This passageway had the word escape written on it. The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Can the bucket do something for me?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
That's different as well. I mean, now she's mentioning the bucket.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest.
Hey, this is different again.
It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Bucket head. Okay. Let's see.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket
Vinci
is
style
far
bucket.
more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short
Burn
life?
up bucket. Is this leading anywhere?
No
This is
man
so
can
weird.
own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Okay. I should have down there.
But there is something we can do.
And you probably did
Something
too.
we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision of the...
Okay. Let the bucket be the new commander. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's go down.
To a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So this is where the other Figlin is, or whatever he's calling them. But let's see what's in here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom.
Oh god, what's happening here?
Times such as these.
Revenant.
He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
Where's
Who
the
knows
bucket?
what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might
Bucket?
experience without the
there?
psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it?
Should
I
I
must
actually
find
did.
it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real
Narrator.
bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Ah!
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh,
But on
fuck,
this
what's going on?
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought. And she
There's
hugged her
so
own
many
bucket
different endings
tighter.
and paths. It's
But of
crazy.
course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. Way to work.
Okay. So at this point, I
All of
don't
his co-workers were
know what to do anymore.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Different? Yeah, it's different. Let's look different.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What do we do? We could... Hold on. What other options do we have? Now that we have the bucket, maybe there are some new ways that
This
are
was
opening
not
up.
the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh,
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no?
No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
is there anything we could do from here?
No,
Said the bucket.
Oh,
don't go
too
to
late.
the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not
Okay, let's see,
question
we'll
why
see.
or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up.
Alright, we'll pick it up.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once
Okay.
upon a time, I
Different.
gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Anything we can interact with? Oh, it's there. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press T to take me to work with you. Okay.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press G to take me back home with you. Okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work. Okay.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
You can shut the computer off. Right?
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Oh.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
So.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
Bucket!
Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
13. No, not right.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
What did you do? You taking away my bucket? Go back to work, Stanley.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did this other door open now? No. Because this door used to be open with the elevator that it's going nowhere. Okay. Alright, let's see what happens. If we're just in there for eternity or not. Let's go down. Because the last time I was in there for like 3 minutes. But it just kept going, but it was actually going nowhere because the door straight up opened. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes.
Okay, it's
this
not
is
down there.
certainly the most logical explanation.
Dun, 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 dun.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through
I think
the
this game
large
needs
door
another
of the
part.
mind control facility.
So let's go this way. Let's see if anything happens, if anything is different. Now that we have our bucket.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Dun, 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 dun.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Feeble mind.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or
Something red and
content.
blue.
Walking, eating,
Maybe
working,
it's two.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening?
Uh-oh.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Okay, that's different.
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Alright, that's it. My disk space just ran out. I don't know when it stopped. But anyway, that's it. That was the unplugging the phone, not answering the phone path, and quite a few others. I would probably do another part where we're just gonna try to figure out where this last could happen. I'm super curious what else could happen. But yeah, there's another game that I just downloaded, which I'm going to make a video of in a few days. Anyway, thanks for watching. If we can get to 10 likes on this video, that would be amazing. I'm trying to get to like 50 subscribers by... which is not really a lot. But yeah, you have to take small steps. That's the easiest way to do it. Anyway, if you like the video, like it, subscribe, all these things. Notification bell. No sponsor. Because it's a small channel. So yeah. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe to my channel.